Hello everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Cooking Like a Man. My name is J.D. Fentress and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are making chicken etouffee for dinner. And it's just keep in mind this is a very basic etouffee. You could add anything to it you want. We're making chicken etouffee, but you can put sausage in it or shrimp or whatever you want. This is just the basic recipe that I've come up with over the years for etouffee. So don't fact check me with your brother-in-law who lives in Baton Rouge to see if that's how he makes etouffee, because this is just the way I've been making it for years. I don't know how authentic it is, but it's pretty darn good and it's easy to make. Probably the reason why I make it so much. My wife and I, we really like it. I'm going to show you some of the ingredients that we have to make it. With, you're going to need a couple of boneless, skinless chicken breasts, some kosher salt, some good Creole seasoning. I use Zatarain's, but anything will work. I've used McCormick's in a pinch. You'll need a nice medium sweet onion, some cooking spray, some cooking oil, chicken broth, some rice. I use basmati rice, which is an Indian aromatic rice, a little bit of flour, and you can see how much I like basmati rice. I got that out just to show you. I buy 20-pound bags of it. It's really good stuff. Then you'll need a big saucepan, similar to this one with high sides on it. Then you can make it all in one dish, except for the rice you'll have to make in a separate pan. I'll get back to you here in a minute after I get all this stuff prepared and ready to go, and then we'll throw it together. I thought I'd start the video back up to show you how to slice an onion. A lot of you probably already know that, but some of you may not. Start with, invest in a good sharp knife. I own several, but it just takes one. Spend a little money, get you a really good kitchen knife. This baby right here will slice a frog hair 4 ways. Anyway, you saw how I cut the onion top to bottom. Now I want the onion for this etouffee to be small diced onion. So I'm cutting thin slices across the grain of the onion. Then I'll turn it and I'll cut it again in thin slices. Hope I don't cut my finger off on video. Anyway, now that it's sliced like that, it'll just break up in little tiny pieces. And actually, I think that's going to be enough, because I'm making a small batch of etouffee tonight. I'll just use a half of a sweet onion. That should be enough. I'll go ahead and get the rest of this stuff cut up, and I'll get back to you. Okay, I'm back. And while you all were gone, I diced up those 2 chicken breasts, and I put the rice on the stove. Tonight I'm cooking 1.25 cups of rice. I don't care if I have leftovers. That's quite a bit of rice for 2 people, but I like rice and I don't mind having leftovers, and we're more than likely going to have leftover etouffee tomorrow, so that's going to be my lunch probably. So anyway, it's on the stove with rice. So easy to make. You don't need to buy a rice cooker or anything like that. Just cook it on the stove. That's the way I prefer to do it anyway. Just for every part of rice you use 2 parts liquid. So if you use 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. That's simple. Put it on the stove, bring it up to a boil. When it gets to the boil, turn it all the way down to just warm it on the stove. Just the lowest setting you got. And let it sit there for 20 minutes. And it'll be perfect every time. Okay, so we're going to mix up this chicken. And this recipe, we don't really measure anything. You know, it's just, it's a no measure recipe. We're gonna take a pinch of salt and sprinkle over the chicken. That's kosher salt. And lots of Creole seasoning. Don't be scared to use it. It's not really that hot. And when you cook it, it definitely isn't. So I'm gonna put quite a bit in there. And the goal is to make sure that all the little chicken pieces get coated well. When I diced this chicken up, I diced these up in what I would consider half bite sizes. Pretty small cube chicken. And the reason why I do that, it just seems to work well, but my wife prefers it that way. Plus, when you cook it, it tends to swell anyway. So if you cut the pieces up pretty small, they'll swell up a little bit in the liquid and get a little bigger anyway. So small is better for an etouffee. I agree with my wife. I prefer the chicken cut up in about half bite sizes. I'm gonna put just a little bit more in there. Like I said, you really can't go wrong with the quantity of the Creole seasoning. It's not that hot. And this is basically all the seasoning you're gonna use for the entire dish. So it goes right here in the chicken. And that's it. As far as mixing this up goes. Now we're gonna go over here to the stove after I heat the oil up, and I won't make you hang around for that. I'll get some oil going on the stove, and when we come back, I'll show you how to put this together. Well, hello there, I'm back. I've got this pan of oil heating up here, and this is my rice. It's just sitting there on warm, getting nice and fluffy. It smells good. It's aromatic rice. I love the smell of it. I've got all my ingredients lined up here, so I don't have to hustle around the kitchen trying to find my ingredients. The amount of oil I put in here, I guess it's, you know, you want quite a bit of fat because this is kind of a gravy dish. I guess it's about 1/4 inch of the bottom of the pan. And it's getting hot now. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump my chicken in there. You just want the, you don't want to overcook it or anything, but just cook the chicken until it's not pink anymore. I don't always drink beer when I'm cooking, but when I do, it's Shiner Bock. That's a lie. I always drink beer when I'm cooking. Let's see if I can show this to you. Maybe one of these days I could invest in a cameraman or a camerawoman named Michelle. Turn the heat up just a smidge. I'll get back to you when we get to the next step. Okay, the chicken is not done yet, just predominantly not pink. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my onion in there because I want the onion to sweat down really good. I mean, I want to just kind of more or less disappear, melt away into the etouffee. We don't want it to, we want the etouffee to be smooth, not chunky. So I'll continue to cook this down and get back with you in a minute. Just going to give you another look-see here. It's probably about halfway there. The onion's starting to turn translucent. I'm going to cook it till it's practically where you can't hardly even see it anymore. That's how done you want the onion. Then when we get to that point, I'll turn the heat down and add flour to thicken it. Then once I get the flour stirred in, I'll add chicken broth, and then we'll be on nearly the home plate when we get that far. But it's getting close. Just giving you a little update. Also, I want to tell you that whiskey bottle right there, it makes a perfect video tripod to hold my phone up so you can watch me. Okay, this is ready. It's you have to look hard to find an onion in there now. It's just about melted away. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but the onion's really cooked down. It's ready. So I'm going to add some flour. I'll have to set the phone down for that, but I'll switch the direction so you can watch me out. It takes 2 hands to add the flour and stir it in, and then we don't want it to burn. And then I'll start adding chicken broth and to thin it back out and make a gravy, and then it'll be ready to serve over rice. It'll be really good. Okay, let me get that phone set up against that whiskey bottle. There we go. I had to turn that timer off. The rice is done, so I'll just push it back to the back of the stove. It's done. It won't hurt to sit in the pan while we finish this up. Let's see if I can angle that over there where you can see it a little better. There we go. All right. My little flour container is about empty. I've got another one in there full of flour, but I want to go ahead and use this up. If it's not enough, I might have to go over to the cabinet, get some more flour. Like I said, we don't have to measure this. This isn't a measuring recipe. Just kind of go by the seat of your pants. I think that'll be enough flour. Basically enough to cover the entire top of the etouffee. You can tell real quick once you start stirring it in if it doesn't soak up all the oil and get thick, then it's probably not enough. And it's kind of looking like maybe this might not be enough. Because we don't want to. We want all the oil to be soaked up with the flour. I think that'll be okay. It got pretty thick. Yeah, it'll be all right. So I'll show you. Okay, can you see that? There we go. Okay, it's pretty thick. It's about as thick as it can be. Don't worry about that stuff sticking to the bottom of the pan. It's okay. We're going to get that off here in just a second. All right, here we go. Chicken broth. I love chicken broth. I keep chicken broth in my cabinet. It's a staple in my kitchen. I use it to cook vegetables. Oftentimes, I use it as the liquid for my rice. When I'm cooking my rice, it really gives the rice a good flavor. I just put enough chicken broth in there to basically cover the contents of the pan. And maybe a little extra. I turned the heat down to a little past medium, a little less than medium heat. And just like any other gravy, you want to continue to stir it. And basically, when it comes to a boil, turn the heat off or take it off the heat and just continue to stir it, and it'll thicken right up. It'll be a nice thick gravy. It's already looking delicious. I mean, it's got a nice peanut brown color. I'll show it to you. It's beautiful, and I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. It's already starting to thicken pretty nicely. I might add just a little more chicken broth in there. I cook by the seat of my pants quite a bit. Measuring spoons aren't always needed. Cooking is a science, but it's not an exact science. Okay, when this gets done, I'll get back to you and we'll serve it up on a plate and let you see what it looks like. Okay, we're back. We're ready to plate this dinner up and chow down like chow hounds. First, I want to put a little rice on the plate. I'll get that one out of the way. Just do one plate for you. I like to put a nice little scoop of rice on there. We're not shy about eating around here, so if it looks like a large portion, it is. All right, let's see here. Let's cover the bottom of the plate pretty good. Stir this etouffee up. Cover that rice. Plenty of gravy. There we go. Ready to go. Honey, dinner's ready. See you later.